This phenomenon is a kind of developmental process in the personality itself. At first it seems that each compensation is a momentary adjustment of one-sidedness or an equalization of disturbed balance. But with deeper insight and experience, these apparently separate acts of compensation arrange themselves into a kind of plan. They seem to hang together and in the deepest sense to be subordinated to a common goal, so that a long dream series no longer appears as a senseless string of incoherent and isolated happenings, but resembles the successive steps in a planned and orderly process of development. I have called this unconscious process spontaneously expressing itself in the symbolism of a long dream series, the individuation process.
Woohoo! This is from C.J. Jung's collected work, Volume 8, The Structure and Dynamic of the Psyche, in the essay on the nature of dreams. And so we're doing our third installment of Jung and dreams, and learning to work with dreams and getting to know Jung's work and what he says about dream work. So we'll break down the quote and I'll explain some of the things that he talks about in there. And again, I think that as we move along, it'd be great to have questions from the audience. So if you want to ask a question, please ask in the comment, and I'll be very happy to answer. So this phenomenon is a kind of developmental process in the personality itself. So Jung talks about dreams and how dream holds such an important part. They are moments, dreams that Jung called them big dreams that are especially moving in one's process. And so these dreams are part of the developmental process of the personality. At first it seems that each compensation is a momentary adjustment of one-sidedness or an equalization of disturbed balance. So two terms that Jung uses here is compensation and one-sidedness. So one-sidedness, Jung talked about the wholeness of the personality being a balance between the two sides of the personality, the anima and the animus, or the feminine part of the personality and the masculine part of the personality. In astrology, we have the sun as the masculine part of the personality, the moon as the feminine part of the personality. And so whenever an individual is one-sided, in other words, only empowering one side of the personality, the other side usually rebels as a shadow. And so then in our society, you know, if we look at it as collectively, we empower masculine values over feminine values, and we live an exceedingly one-sided masculine set of values. And so that one-sidedness is compensated by the shadow feminine, or a feminine that is enraged, or that is mad, or that is being abused. We talk about Mother Earth and the abuse of Mother Earth. We talk about the abuse of the feminine. We talk even about the abuse of the masculine. Whenever a society, whenever an individual is too one-sided, there's a compensation that arises from the unconscious. And so Jung talks about dreams as being compensatory to the conscious attitude, seeking to rectify the one-sidedness, to equalize the disturbed balance. So that's the meaning of dreams, a developmental process of the personality that seeks to equalize the one-sidedness through compensation. With a deeper insight and experience, these apparently separate acts of compensation arrange themselves into a kind of plan. Jung uses the word teleological. Teleological meaning as if there was a plan set all along. And so when we dream, when we work with dreams, we look at individual dreams as compensations of one-sidedness that are momentary. That happened, you know, yesterday I had this dream and it helped me understand this about myself. But then Jung says that really this process is a dream series or the dream sequence where one learns to see this process through many, many dreams, as if one dream and the next after that were all aligned into a process that is teleological, that is seems to be preordained into a kind of plan. And so then dream analysis, yes, the individual dream is important, but also having a dream journal where you keep track of the dreams and you see the overall message of the dream sequence. This is what's really important about dream work, is to commit to a journaling system, a journaling practice where you keep track of the dream sequence and you keep track of the messages. As we go along, we're going to talk about more techniques of dream analysis and how to treat the dream itself. But here we want to understand that the dream sequence works towards the development of the personality itself, seeks to compensate the one-sidedness of the personality, and delivers important messages as if it was planned in a series. They seem to hang together and in the deepest sense to be subordinate to a common goal, so that the long dream series no longer appears as a senseless string of incoherent and isolated happenings, but resembles the successive steps in a planned and orderly process of development. So we explained that. I have called this unconscious process spontaneously expressing itself into the symbolism of a long dream series, the individuation process. Individuation is a term that Jung coined, meaning the process of becoming fully an individual, or he also calls it the development of personality. This development of personality is nothing short of becoming whole as a human being, and that is to learn to harmonize the four elements, the four functions within oneself, and to balance the masculine and the feminine within oneself, so that one is no longer one-sided, but one is whole. That is what we call self-realization or individuation. And Jung pointed to a dream practice and dream analysis as the support to individuation, or as the tool for the unconscious to communicate with the conscious individual to bring about this process. And so Jung advocated dream analysis as a spiritual practice. This is again from The Structure and Dynamic of the Psyche on the Nature of Dreams by C.G. Jung in Volume 8. We're going to continue to do these, and as the build up, please do follow our channel and support our work. Thank you very much. Woohoo!